Hi guys, welcome to another episode 12 of the Arsenal Away podcast. I'm Samrid, he's Ashwin. Ashwin is luckily sitting out of a hotel room something I experienced a couple of episodes ago. Ashwin is on a training, he's traveling, and apologies for not uploading of late. We've both been busy with work. I've been unwell with the Delhi pollution that has taken a hold of me, as you guys may or may not have known. Uh, but just getting a few things out of the way, we're available on all social media channels. Like, subscribe on YouTube. The bell icon is right there to receive notifications as to when we upload a new video. We're at the Arsenal Away on Twitter. And yeah, let's get into it. Ashwin, been a while since we spoke.
Been a
We've
while
had
since we spoke.
a
We've had two games
s-
that have
we've
gone
had
by.
we've had a series of events that have happened in the past, the last week, 10 days. How do you think it's going? I'm not particularly upbeat about any of whatever's been happening, but especially just starting off with the Wolves game. I was at my super boss's house for dinner when the game was happening, so I didn't catch very much of it, but I was following it online. And I have a colleague who's an Arsenal fan, and when we went 1-0 up, he was really kicked out. I was like, yeah, wait, I don't think this lead is going to last. And it didn't, as expected. My prediction of us having a good game, once again falling flat on my face. But I was pretty sure after the goal went in that we were going to concede, and the way Jimenez scored, it's the same old thing we've been seeing all the season.
Two things I got to tell you, man. I think the last time we spoke, I said, I don't know why you do this to yourself. Because you predicted 3-1 victory for us, and I said the hope is what kills us. I said don't do it because that is what is going to hurt more. My prediction was 1-1 and it was bang on because I know how bad we are as a team. The second talking point that I wanted to talk about was we finally see Ozil and Torreira in the side. I was finally happy. But he plays Ozil on the right wing and he plays Lucas Torreira as the furthest forward, playing his best CDM as a number 10. And he's playing Guendouzi and Ceballos in the holding role. I've been slating him. I can't defend him anymore. It's just a case of how long do the board? I mean, how much patience do the board have now, and how long they can wait out for him to see how badly we do before he kicks us out. He kicks Emery out because
I mean, even the Ozil on the right and Torreira are playing the furthest forward. No Pepe in the starting lineup either, which was surprising.
And didn't bring him on when we needed a goal. He brought on Kolasinac.
Didn't bring him on either. He brought on Kolasinac. Yeah, I mean he's not really helping himself with the decision, with whatever he's doing. It's just one thing that leads to another, and fan frustration. I think there was a poll that I think Arsblog did. I think it was after the Palace game, or I think it was after the Wolves game. I think, wherein the final results had 58,000 votes, which is pretty much the same, close to what the stadium capacity is. And if we were to take that as representative of the Arsenal fan base, we had 88% people who wanted him out.
Yeah,
I mean, you cannot have as well. I know it's the sample size limited to just that, and it does not represent all fans. But if that is as clear a signal as anyone can get that it's done for him. He's a dead man walking. It's a matter of when now and not if he's sacked. Because the results are just not improving. I mean, even if the results improve, our playing style still remains the same. So,
what shocked me was after we conceded 25 shots on goal at the Emirates versus our 10 to Wolves.
Yeah.
When the interviewer asked Unai Emery how was the game performance for you, his reply was, even though we conceded a goal, this was tactically what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
what I don't understand what that means. Tactically, he wants to sit back and let the opposition pepper the goal by. Uh, I mean, like a team like Wolves, who's not even doing that well this season. I think we spoke about in the last pod saying that
Yeah.
last year Wolves did really well. They beat the top. They troubled the top six a lot. They took 4 points off 4 points off us last year. They've only beaten City this year, but they've not been that great. But they look like, I remember as soon as the game started, I messaged on the group within the first 7 minutes saying that, are we playing Wolves? Are we playing Barcelona? Because the game started
Yeah.
and Wolves had
We're
the
sitting
ball.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was not like we were sitting back. It was like all 10 of us were penned in our penalty box, and Wolves had the ball and they were passing it around our penalty box and taking shots off in the first 7 minutes. It looked like
Yeah.
we were the underdogs. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I was watching. There was another article that I think got retweeted on Twitter, which was actually a thread that came in before Unai Emery was Arsenal manager. I mean, just when he
Was
became
that
Arsenal manager.
journalist
Yeah,
the journalist who talked about Emery? Yeah. Yeah.
Emery. There was a whole thread about him, and in that thread, he very clearly mentions that what we've been saying for a very long time, that Arsenal is not Unai Emery's level. Unai Emery's level is Sevilla, and that's it. He's not been able to take that step forward. I mean, you and me have discussed this, saying that he went to PSG and with literally a team which is a one-team league in France, he went and lost it to Monaco, right? I I can understand us playing really well and then getting beat by a really bad goal and then drawing the game 1-1 or the other team nicking it. But it looked like we nicked that result 1-1 and should honestly have lost that game. It was a
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
like all the fun of watching football on the weekend has been sucked out of me. I mean, I don't look forward to watching Arsenal play anymore. The only joy I get is when our rivals drop points, and thankfully, both Spurs and United drop points in the weekend, so that got me some joy. Otherwise,
Mm.
Chelsea are going on. There's already a 6 points gap between Chelsea and us. I don't know how we're still fifth, but there's a 6 point gap already between Leicester, Chelsea, and us. This weekend, I'm bringing up the Leicester game because I think we're going to get battered 5-0. That gap becomes 9 points between third and fifth, right? And that's recovering a 9 point gap is not going to be easy. And for us to get back in the Champions League is not going to be easy. If we wait any longer and we let Unai Emery do the job, by Christmas we could probably be like 10th or 12th in the league. Because I remember you
Yeah.
talking
No.
about
I mean,
how
yeah.
December
December was.
is the crucial period. But I told you I was not scared for December because I knew we were not going to get through October, November.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, before we get into Leicester, and we're going to talk about a little bit more detail as to the team, Leicester this season, and how eventually we might fare. Um, Even the game last night was horrible to watch. We had one pass into the opposition final third, and that was the goal that was the assist for Mustafi.
We had one shot on
Most
goal
of the passes, one shot on goal, which was the goal
the
we
whole game.
scored.
The whole
We
game.
had one pass into we had one, yeah, the whole game. We had one pass into the final third, and I'm looking at stats from StatZone. We had 8 of our 9 top pass combinations yesterday evening were from defender to defender,
Yeah.
which means that he's just not willing to take a chance against a side that is seventh. That I think lost one of the last 7 games, hasn't scored in the Europa League this season, and we've
Hasn't
let them.
Victoria struggled against 13th placed team in Portugal on the weekend. They couldn't beat them.
Yeah,
Victoria has not got a single point in the Europa League in our group.
Europa League. Yeah,
Yeah, but they almost came to the Emirates and they deserve to have beaten us that day.
and
They
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 almost,
deserve to
yeah,
have.
they
They
almost
should have
won.
won yesterday. They should have won yesterday. There was nothing
Yeah,
about it. Like that chance towards the end after they scored, they had two clear-cut chances where they should have taken it in. One hit the bar. The other one was a shot that was like something like Di Canio that he tried, and it was so close to the far post. But we should have lost that game.
I mean, even the goal yesterday, Ashwin, we had 8, including the goalkeeper. There, two of our players out of position. You still had 5 people to somehow somehow stop him from taking a shot on goal, and we still let it in. And I was watching the goal. I was anyways bored out of my mind watching this play. And when the goal went in, I was like, I had a smile on my face because it wasn't like I wasn't expecting them to score, but I was like, yeah, well, they've scored, and I was like, okay, okay, we've seen this again now. This is not something new, and it's going to keep happening. Um, I don't know. It just makes no sense. He had a strong team yesterday. It wasn't even like it was a weak team. Um, I mean, I don't really know what more to say about him. You had Tierney, who's good on the ball, but Tierney, he was the only forward. He was the only defender who was decent yesterday. But again, you had Tierney, who's half decent. You've got the other three were absolute complete jokers, who being made to look like that, uh, for what rhyme or reason, I don't know. It's not like the quality isn't there, but with no protection for the midfield, the forwards completely devoid of service. Lacazette was completely ineffective when he came on with the good half an hour to go. Um, I don't know, man. It's I'm not I don't have anything to say about him anymore, because the game, it's just like you said, watching Arsenal is just not fun. It's dreary. It's boring. I mean, if it was at least hoofball, you want to play Stoke City, at least that is still a style of play. We don't even have that anymore, or we've never had it. We can't even say that about us anymore.
See, I would never ever want us to lose a game, but
Yeah,
I could not. But if it had to be us losing and that being the end of Emery, I'd happily take it. Right? Anyway, I'm predicting that us going away to Leicester, we lost 3-0 away there last year. This year, we're going to go there and get demolished. They're going to put five past us, and that is what they're going to do. And if the board, after we lose 5-0 at Leicester, don't do anything about Unai Emery, then I'm done with the board. Because there's news coming out of the board that okay, there's those rumors about Jose Mourinho, but there are rumors that it's all a lie, that they've not, it's just been coming from Mourinho's PR and he's trying to get the job. And the board are completely backing Emery. See, okay, I know they're probably going to say that in the media because they don't want to make it look like we're airing a dirty laundry with everybody in public. But I don't have the confidence in the board that they're going to make a decision. And to be honest,
yeah.
if he tried to change the system, which he did last night, which I was at least happy that he did something different. But what was the point? We played five at the back, and we looked worse defensively than we did with four at the back. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, I didn't understand that you're playing three center halves against Victoria. I mean, and
no,
you keep saying this over and over again. He's got the mentality of a mid-table club. He is exactly he is the exact mirror image of David Moyes at United,
yeah,
who
he
was
actually is.
scared, who just he had no, there's no vision, there's no exhilaration, there's no wanting to take the game because you're Arsenal, you're not freaking Everton,
No, but
you're
I
not
understand that.
Sevilla.
See, I understand Unai Emery is the guy who would watch a lot of videos, would see what his competitors are doing, would watch what the opponents are doing, and then study them. But that should translate into something onto the pitch. It's not. It looks like
Yeah,
I don't know what those PPTs are made of. Like, what is he watching? It looks like we can't string two passes together anymore. And for
yeah.
we had 36% of the ball yesterday against a team struggling in the Portuguese league. They had 63, 64% of the ball yesterday.
No. So that
That
stat
was
was
the
tweeted out by Arsblog. I think it was the other way around. Yeah, which makes it even worse. In fact, I mean, even at 65% possession with one, I mean, you had one pass in the final third, one shot on goal. They had 10. They had 10 shots.
yeah.
This is Victoria you're talking about. This is not Barcelona.
Hmm.
And the point is that, I mean, even Emery has defenders. God knows how he still got people who are still defending him. But their point then becomes that, oh, at least our results against the top six teams is improved. And the only reason he gets the result is because he he knows how to set his team up as an underdog.
Bro, but what is improved? We were
Nothing. No, nothing.
under Wenger, we were beating the likes of Tottenham and United. It was just that we were struggling against City and Liverpool, and we're still struggling against City and Liverpool. It's not like we're doing anything great under Emery.
Yeah.
There's
No,
nothing.
we're not.
This is, we score less goals, we defend badly, we have no team cohesion. And talking about team cohesion, after that whole Granit Xhaka incident, he's now gone and sacked him as his main top five captains. That apparently the players decided and said that he's the leader, and he wanted to make it very democratic by saying, no, I'm going to let the players pick it. And now it's come and backfired on him. So he's now gone and given the
Yeah,
captain's armband
it's
to Aubameyang, which I don't know how it's going to work out because Aubameyang's in the final year of his contract, and it doesn't look like he's anywhere close to signing a new contract.
no. I mean, why would he give? Why would the likes of an Aubameyang or a Lacazette, even though Lacazette has done jack shit this season? I mean, his performances haven't really given the need to sign him up on a new deal. I mean, leaving aside that, your key players will not stay. What reason does Aubameyang have to stay at a club that's been struggling now for about a good 3 years?
Yeah.
Even with Arsene here, and you're right. At least when Arsene was here, we would put 4, 5, 6 past these shite teams who,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, not at a level that Arsenal are or were rather. Let me put it that way. Fine, I do get it that Arsene did have his issues with teams that were in our faces, and of course there were the whole referees allowing teams to rough us up and all that, and I get it. I get that. That's just how the game's played in England. But the point still remains that what has he brought about to the club that we were sold presentations, we were sold tactics, we were sold someone who really gets into how the opposition plays, and there is nothing over the latter half of last season, from game 30-31 onwards to now where we are November, that has told me anything different, anything that even signifies him being a coach that is meant for Arsenal. It's
Dude,
just not there.
I'm sure Unai Emery has some private shit on Ivan Gazidis because there's no chance that
So,
either Gazidis is an absolute tool who doesn't understand football at all, which is possible
yeah,
because AC Milan are struggling as well,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
Emery's got something on Gazidis, and that's why the appointment was made because I can't understand how anyone could see any sort of game management or structure or even a sort of style of football through under Emery. Like I don't understand who's seeing what. And for the first time, I don't think I've ever heard a commentator say this. Like I was watching the game last night, and the commentator was actually saying stuff like Unai Emery's side has become really really poor. And I've never heard any commentator say that about any team, saying that the team is poor. And it's reached a level where everybody's noticing how bad we are. And what are his changes? He's
Yeah.
not like okay, before he was making those changes, people were lauding him for making these changes and changing the game. Like he would make changes at halftime, he'd make changes in the 50th minute and all. Now, what are these changes is he making? When we need a goal, he brings on a defender. When we need to defend a goal, he brings on an attacker. It's like he doesn't understand football, or it's like he has another like how people who say Wenger was stubborn. Emery is equally stubborn.
No, but he's stubborn. He's stubborn for.
The wrong reasons.
So look, I understand. I understand that Arsene was stubborn, but Arsene was stubborn because he wanted to stick to his principles.
Philosophies, yeah.
We have nothing. What is he? What is he stubborn about? I mean, it's not even stubborn. It's just sheer. I mean, I would go as far as calling it stupidity. You have no identity. You have no vision of how the game needs to be played. You have no vision of how Arsenal as a club is viewed globally as well as within England as being the brand ambassadors of playing some of the most attacking and fluent football that we've seen ever.
Yeah.
And we've become I mean, you have the likes of Sheffield who can string together 2 more passes than us. A championship club. And if it wasn't, believe you me, Ashwin, if it wasn't for those wins that we scraped out this season, we would be near the relegation zone.
Yeah, we would be.
Because we would be. I mean, those 4 draws and there's 4 wins that we managed to somehow get through. Not even one game has been convincing.
Yeah,
We somehow managed to pull it back against Spurs.
Yeah.
Which we should have lost. We somehow managed to bring it back. Somehow managed to hold on to a 2-0, concede a 2-0 lead against Palace, which the game we should have lost as well.
Palace, Watford, Burnley.
Watford, we were lucky to have scraped through the point after leading. I mean, I just don't know anymore. It can't come sooner, and I hate to be the guy who wants to see his club's manager get sacked, but right now I don't really care because I have no emotional connect with him.
There's nothing.
That went out. There's nothing there. I mean, people want to complain that do we want to become another club where we're hiring and firing managers? And well, yeah, that's what the reality of football is nowadays. It is what it is, and I get it that people still want us to be associated with the values of what Arsenal stands for, and we're not that sort of club. I get that, but the reality of today's football is that you're not going to have a Ferguson or a Wenger or any legacy managers who are going to be there for decades. It's not going to happen. At max, I think you'll see someone who sticks around for 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
If at all. If he gets lucky, he's there for 4 years. And I don't know what we're waiting for. And I think the Leicester game will, and you're right, we're going to get thrashed at Leicester. We're not coming away with anything. I mean, if he pulls something out of the hat, great. But
no, in fact, I don't want that. If he pulls something out of the hat, then he gets more time. And that's just going to be worse for us because it's going to be the international break. We're going to come back. We're going to play that same boring, shitty football. And then December comes along when we have Cities, the Chelseas, and all these guys coming to play us. The United's coming to play us in Jan first. And we're going to lose all those games. It's just going to go from bad to worse. We keep, I don't want us to beat Leicester. I don't want us to get a draw at Leicester because that would mean that would get us be a small moral victory for Unai Emery that he'd be able to save his job, and I don't want that. And in terms of people saying that Emery hasn't had enough time, dude, he's had last whole year he's brought in the players he's wanted. This year he's brought in the players he's wanted. Brendan Rodgers, on the other hand, has had lesser time. And see the way Leicester are playing football. Dude, Jamie Vardy is the top scorer in the Premier League at the age of 33.
Yeah.
And you can see what he's doing. You can see the way Leicester play. Dude, Tielemans, Chaudhry, all these guys in midfield, I can't. If you had to do a combined 11, I think our only players who will come into from the Arsenal team would probably be Aubameyang. I think the rest of the team would be filled in by the Leicester players. We don't have anything. Like, our midfield is non-existent, and we've been mentioning this so much in the previous podcast, saying that what wins you games is how good your midfield is, and we have no midfield. Our midfield doesn't help us defend. Our midfield doesn't help us go forward, which is why we're struggling.
I mean, now talking about Leicester, I think now that we've brought Leicester up and their team, from they're up there, Ashwin, this season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they're a contender. It's not like they're battling for top 4. They're in the mix for top 4.
Yeah.
And not even top 4. I think top 3 for that matter. I think they probably will end up. They will end up. I think probably very comfortably in the top 4.
I think they probably.
Chelsea.
I think they probably give City a good run for the second spot also.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. City look shaky this season. Leicester still. I mean, Leicester still have to. I think, have they played any of the big guys? I don't think they have as yet, though.
Not yet.
I
think they played Liverpool. They played Liverpool, and they drew 1-1, and last minute Liverpool won 2-1, where Mane dived and got the penalty.
Yeah.
Scored.
Right. So
and
I think
they lost 1-0 to United.
Says that
they lost 1-0 to United.
So I mean, that's only in a matter of 6 months, and this is someone, and Rodgers is still trying to build out his team there. He doesn't have everyone who he'd like to see ideally.
Yeah.
So I fear for us, man. I fear for us. I mean, we're on a hiding to nothing on Saturday.
What do you think the score's going to be like?
Or I can't begin to imagine. I mean, I'm generally quite upbeat, and I try and stay positive on our predictions.
Don't do it, man. Don't do this to yourself.
But it's this weekend. I fear for Sachin. I think three at least. I see them putting three at least past us.
They put
Because
three
no way
past
are we
us.
getting out of jail. Yeah,
They put
no
three
way are we
past us
getting out of
last
jail.
year, man. Like this year, I think
Yeah,
they are a better unit. They are more compact, and they go for the kill. And you're going to see it like the way if you. I know you missed the Wolves game, but the way Wolves started, I think Leicester's going to start with 10 times more intensity than what Wolves started, and we're going to be under pressure from the minute go because we're not going to be able to defend. And I,
yeah.
I
I
hate to
mean,
say
Leicester,
this.
Leicester have a point to prove. I mean,
Yeah,
Leicester have a point to prove, Ashwin. I mean, they'd love to make one of the so-called top clubs feather in their cap. Why wouldn't they?
we're not a top club anymore. I'm sorry, we're not.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Both Arsenal and United have been living on their pasts. Both teams right now are absolutely shite, and I cannot say that at least Arsenal is not a top club anymore. We are at max an average mid-table side, and I don't know how we're still sticking on to fifth because I feel it's a miracle because I think the league around us has been really crap. But had Spurs been doing better, had United been doing better, we'd probably be eighth, ninth right now somewhere.
Oh, very comfortably, very, very
Yeah,
comfortably.
yeah.
If it wasn't for like Spurs dropping points, I mean, United I can still understand because they're worse off than us, and I'm not sure how United fans feel at this point. I don't really give a shit. But Spurs have been also had their slump, and they're a better. I mean, they've got a better manager. They've got decent players who I think hit their peak last season. But if they hadn't, it would have probably been them who've been at our spot. I mean, even if we leave Spurs and United aside, Ashwin, look at Chelsea. They've lost their best player. They've got a transfer ban.
Mm.
He's coming from the championship with no top flight experience, top flight club managing experience. He's playing kids,
And he's playing
and they're
some
going in
beautiful
and they're
football.
coming back from a 4-1 down against Ajax. They're coming back from a
4-4.
4-1 deficit against Ajax from at home.
Yeah.
And it boggles the mind that how is it that the likes of a Lampard and a Rodgers can do it, but Emery, who's this so-called tactical genius, back Europa League titles, can't bring players of of the club that we have, and we have a good squad. We don't have a bad squad. We've got the players that he needed. Um, how is it that he can't bring them to play better? I
It,
don't get it.
I think
It's
it has. I think it has a lot to do with mentality, and I think Emery is a very scared manager. If you see the way Lampard and I think more than Brendan Rodgers, Lampard sets out to play a very adventurous style of football, the sort of football that we used to play when we used to be under Wenger. So he knows that he is going to concede goals, but at the same time, he's going to score a few more goals than the opposition. I think Brendan Rodgers has it a little better. He has a little more balanced unit that can sit and defend together. But when they attack, they really can cut you. You know, so I think it just comes down to mentality. I think Emery is more of a defensive manager who likes to play on the counter attack, and I think we're just not suited as a team to play on the counter because we don't have that sort of sit back and soak up the pressure. Because, like I mentioned, to do that you need to defend with two banks of four, and our midfield is non-existent.
no,
So
yeah, you need the kind of organization that is just not there as of this point because the players don't know what to do, and I think we've heard multiple stories coming out of Twitter and the press, and even the players that the players don't know what to do. Martinelli
yeah,
had to go up to him twice yesterday to understand what's happening,
what is happening? Yeah,
and it. I mean, and you were just making a point on how good Leicester have become attacking wise. Rogers would have had a Premier League medal when he was at Liverpool if it wasn't for Liverpool shooting themselves in the foot.
yeah.
And while I get it that his teams are not all that great defensively, against the likes of us, we're going to get swatted aside
Let's not
on
forget
Saturday.
when Rogers was at Swansea. That was the year. I think he had Michu with him, and they battered us at the
We
Emirates.
struggled.
Yeah,
Yeah, they battered us. Yeah,
when he
yeah,
when he went to Liverpool again, his side was much better than us. They beat us 5-1, 6-1. I remember those games. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not going to be different tomorrow when he comes to the Leicester team on Saturday. Sorry, everyone is going to be shocked after we lose, but to you and me, it's not going to be a surprise because we know how bad we've been, and we've actually come to terms to the fact that we are a shit club, and we are going to get battered. So we expect that, but it should not come as a surprise to anybody anymore because the signs have been there since last season. Even though when we went through that 22 game unbeaten run, it was only because
This
firstly it was a new manager syndrome.
scraping through results. Yeah,
No, new manager syndrome was one, and the second thing was
yeah,
again people like your Aubameyang or Lacazette were producing moments of brilliance when required and getting us victories. It's nothing else. It is
yeah.
nothing else.
I mean, yeah, I remember talking to you about this when the season started, that he has nowhere to run this season
Yeah,
because
he's got what he
after a
wanted.
significant overlay, he's got after significant overlay in the summer, getting rid of players, getting the players he wanted. We've been trying out for a winger. We've got one, um, and anything that now happens is on him.
Mm.
You made a point. You made a point on the board, not trusting the board enough to get rid of him. Um, I'm still I'm still okay with that because I think the board will take a decision. Just because of how they behaved in the summer, they were decisive. Were they knew what they wanted. We knew the positions we had to fill in, both in terms of securing our future, in terms of buying likes of Saliba or Martinelli or Tierney. Left back was a position, or winger was a position. So we've gotten those players. We needed a midfielder as well just to fill in the squad. Ceballos has been an okay addition. He's gone off the boil, but and he's got what he's wanted. He can't come back and say, "Oh, I don't have this player, I don't have that player," which may have been the reason last season. And I still trust the board to take a call, and it's the perfect time to do it as well. You've said in the past that the Leicester game and then the international break, it's more than enough time to find someone who can, at least for as a caretaker, if it means giving it to Freddie, fine. But they should know by now. I don't think the board is stupid enough to to keep sitting and twiddling their thumbs around. Let's wait what happens, because in another month and a half we'll be done with half the season, and the gap might be too far
To
for us to
recover.
bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I think you
To
brought it up
cover.
last time, saying that Arsenal have to, consider a 6 million payoff versus a 40 million loss if we don't
40
win the
million.
Champions
Yeah.
League. And I think it's a no-brainer. If you wait till Jan to see what Emery can do, by then, like you're right, it could be too late for us to, like, fourth could be out of reach for us. Whoever
Yeah.
you bring in Pep Guardiola might not come and get fourth for us at that spot. You know?
Yeah, no, and December fixtures is something that have gone about right from the start. The games are just not with how I think this is the last international break till for a bit, till the new year at least.
Yeah, yeah.
And December is tough. Bournemouth away. I mean, these are clubs that we should be winning easily. And the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you about how we're going to get battered at Leicester away, we're scared of losing against the likes of Wolves and Bournemouth. That is our level. We are a mid-table club, and this is not why Arsenal was asked to leave. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I just want Saturday to be here and be done with. And I'm I'm ready for us to figure out what we're doing next. It's just gonna be like a bitter pill. Those 2 hours watching us
Suffer.
get battered somehow. I don't know. I'm genuinely considering not watching the game because Bayern Dortmund are playing at the very same time.
I
So
I actually have a wedding to attend, but I'm going to be on the phone watching it, man.
oh man. So yeah, I just don't know anymore, Ashwin. It's just it's like you're waiting for your exam. The feeling you used to get, the anxiety you used to get while before your exams results used to come out.
Mhm.
It's that as of this point. It's not fun. It's dreary. It's painful to watch. I mean, even my sister, who also is an Arsenal fan, she's like, "You're just not excited about Arsenal games anymore." I was like, "Yeah, because there's nothing to be excited about."
Your sister at least is an Arsenal fan. I think I made a mistake of watching last week's game with my wife, and she hates football. Okay, and for the first time she was sitting and watching with me, and at the end of the match, she asked me like, why Arsenal so shit? And if she can say, if she who's never watched football, doesn't like football, can come and say why
Wow,
Arsenal so shit, I, I can't even say anything about that, man.
wow,
Like we are that shit, you know. So anyway, you and me can go on about this forever. Let me just get your thoughts on what do you think our lineups are
yeah.
going to be, and then do a prediction. I know we both have tipped us to lose this game, but let's just see what your lineup is going to be and what we think Emery is going to put out.
Lineup. Wow.
I think he starts a
Leno
back
in
five.
goal. Kolasinac. Leno, Kolasinac, Luiz. Uh, Chambers at right back. Sorry, Bellerin at right back because I think he's back fit now. I think he might just play Chambers and Luiz as a centre half, because Socrates played.
I think he played back
Yes,
five.
no,
He played probably Chambers, Socrates, and Luis with Bellerin and Kolasinac as right and left back.
if he's playing a back five with Kolasinac as wing back, we're going to get rogered even more. Oh my god! But you're not far off. Guendouzi midfield. Xhaka won't start. I think we haven't even gotten into Xhaka just because how terrible it's been.
I think Xhaka. I think
Um,
Xhaka's done. I think Xhaka's done. I don't think he's going to. I think Emery put a lot of trust into Xhaka, and Xhaka kind of disrespected that. Even though he came out with a statement and like at the time that it happened, I think both you and me said that uh, we weren't really upset with what Xhaka did because the abuse he got was unfair, right? And when he came out with the statement saying that they people wish that his children had cancer, they wanted to break his legs or break his wife's hands or something like that. I mean that's sick. You don't want anybody to say things like that about your family. So we can
to be seeing
understand
that,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think Xhaka's done. I don't think he's going to play till Jan. Probably might get a loan move in Jan, and then I don't see him coming back from here.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's sad. I think even Arsene, there was a video on BT Sport about Arsene also. I think not directly saying it, but implying that Xhaka shouldn't have done it because
Mm.
I mean he said things about Arsenal values and whatnot.
Values, yeah, yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, I think I mean you're right. I think Xhaka's done. I would like to see him yesterday because I thought maybe give him a break from the home fans and try and reintegrate him into the team. But yeah, just coming back to the lineup again, I think Guendouzi definitely plays. Ceballos after his hamstring, I don't think he's going to play. I think it'll be Ceballos. Sorry, it'll be Guendouzi, Ozil, and Willock, I think.
No
Um,
Torreira.
and Torreira, I don't think he'll start. I don't think Torreira will play. I'd like him to play. I don't think he will.
Mm.
And of course, up front we have Oba leading the lineup. With I don't think Pepe is going to play either.
Yeah, we have one more
Oba
slot
and
left.
Ob, Oba and Lacazette, I think, will start
Yeah.
up front.
So it's going to be like a 5-3-2, which is what he's going to play. I think I'm going to go
5-3-2. Yeah, yeah.
more or less with that. I don't think he's going to play Ozil. He's probably going to play Guendouzi, and he might actually play since Ceballos is injured. He might. I don't know if he plays Willick. I think he'll play Torreira. He'll play Torreira, but he won't play Torreira in the holding role. He'll play Kunduzi there. He'll probably try to play Torreira in the
I mean,
forward.
If Ozil doesn't start on Saturday, Ashwin, after not having played against Victoria, we're asking for. I mean, we're the
What
moment lineups come in, Leicester players will be licking their lips and saying, okay, you know what, one of the most creative midfielders in the world isn't playing, so we're just setting ourselves up for failure. So anyways,
what
going to get thrashed anyways, but
what might
at least give
happen
us a
is
chance, man.
yeah, what might happen is he might play a midfield of Guendouzi, Torreira, and Ozil, and not play and just play Lacazette up front. I don't not Lacazette, Aubameyang up front. I think he probably dropped Lacazette because Lacazette's form has been a little shaky, and he's not
Off, yeah.
he's not come back from his injury too well. So I think if Ozil has to start, he's going to probably play Guendouzi, Torreira, Ozil, and play Aubameyang up front. That is what I'm going to
Yeah,
go.
no, I think that's how it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Predictions, how many do you think we're losing by?
I think we're losing by 4 to 5 goals. I think they're going to put 5 goals past us. They're going to really embarrass us, and it's going to be relentless. It is. It is. We're going to probably get booed off the park in the first half because they're going to be 3-0 up or 4-0 up, and they're going to put 4-5 past us easily, easily.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on the relentless bit. After putting 9 past Southampton, um, I mean, they could have let up very easily, which is what generally most managers do. They
Yeah.
just had to, they don't want to be embarrassing their counterpart, uh, their counterparts who are standing there with them. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I'm with you there. There, I think I'm expecting us to get on a hiding to nothing. I think this will probably be it'll probably be similar to the Chelsea 6-1, or dare I
Liverpool
say the
8-2.
United game as well. Um, I mean, I'm saying that I don't think we'll score away. At least we scored at Chelsea and at United. But yeah, no, I don't think you're going. I don't think you're far off. I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a relentless first half. We're going to get booed off the park, and I guess the only silver lining of the result on Saturday is the fact that Unai Emery will no longer be Arsenal manager.
So that leads me to my last question of the spot. After we lose to Leicester, you think the board are going to sack Unai Emery?
After we get put 4 or 5 put past us, I see no reason for them
No, even if we lose 1-0,
continue having him.
even if we lose 1-0, I see no reason for him to continue.
Look, I think I'll give the sport credit, and maybe I'm playing devil's advocate here. It seems like this board is very PR conscious. They know what the fans feel. Raul seems to love the fact that fans want to take pictures with him and keep coming up to him and saying you've done a good job. I refuse to believe that they're not hearing all of that. I refuse to believe that they're not in touch with what the pulse of the fans are saying as of this point. So yeah, irrespective of how many we lose by, um, there needs to be change. It should have already happened by now. It hasn't, but now is the perfect time. You're not really going to find time. The more the more we get into the season, the more difficult it becomes for anyone who's coming in. So the sooner the better, and hopefully Saturday will be. In fact, you know what? Just to your point, I wanted to bring this up earlier, but it completely slipped my mind. Emery's pre-match questions yesterday, he was very good. He was
was.
very on the point. He just seemed like he didn't want to be there.
It looked like he was a man under pressure.
Yeah, it looked like a man under pressure. It looked like a man who knows that it's just not happening anymore. Or maybe he's been given an ultimatum: either get results or we're done. And the 1-1 result didn't help him. I think Leicester, as pretty much I think the entire Arsenal's fan base is saying, it will be his last game. And I have nothing against the man. I don't hate him. He's not been a dipshit like Mourinho. He's not said shit. He's not an Alan Pardew who's said wrong things about us and who's abused Arsenal, or he's said shit about Arsenal. is just not up to it. He's just not up to it to managing a club like ours, and everything that comes with it: the fans, the players, the expectations of managing Arsenal. That which now, in hindsight, I think everyone who abused Arsenal have realized that for whatever said and done, that man stood there 22 years taking bullets,
Bullets for everybody.
left, right, center, for everybody.
Took it for the players, took it for the board, took it for every and anybody.
Yeah, everybody. And I'm glad he's not around, and I don't want him back either. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk about that till the cows come home. But yeah, I think we're done. I think he'll be done Saturday.
All right, buddy. On that sad note, that's another episode completed. That's episode 12, guys.
Yeah.
And like mentioned, like someone mentioned at the start of the video, we are on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button. There's a bell icon next to it. Please subscribe next to it. Or please hit that so that you get a notification every time we put up a video. We are on Facebook as well, The Arsenal Way. We are on YouTube, The Arsenal Way, of course, and Twitter, The Arsenal Way again. So please like, please share, please subscribe. And most importantly, guys, hang in there. This Unai Emery thing is not going to go on too long.